In this video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my perspective on my journey so far. As I've been building in public for the past 131 days, I want to share a very critical aspect in my perspective now that I've learned throughout this journey so far, and that is the aspect in the concept of staying power. And a lot of people, they may wonder what actually is staying power. And I'm going to share that with you guys in this video and share my perspective on it. It's just going to be very raw and uncut. I'm going to be streaming in a couple hours. So I just want to share a little bit about this concept because I think it's important and I think about it a lot. So staying power to me is one's ability to actually stay in the arena, okay? So when you're in the arena, there's gonna be a lot that's gonna happen, okay? There's gonna be good things that happen, there's gonna be bad things that happen, but the most important aspect, or one of the most important aspects of success, is your ability to navigate the wave and the flow of your ups and your downs, right? Because if you take somebody that's just winning all the time, right, which is very uncommon, right? It's very uncommon that people just win, 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 right? You may look at somebody and think, oh wow, this person's being, incredibly successful, but potentially, behind the scenes, there's some very difficult things going on, right? And I'm using that as an example because I don't think that there's a lot of cases where people are just constantly winning. It's very rare, right? So I think what you guys need to understand and what I want to share is that staying power is a critical aspect to your success. And the reason for that is because when things get difficult, when times get hard, and when things don't go the way that you wanted them to, or they're not playing out the way that you envisioned it, that's how you prove who you are. When the plans change, when the things don't work out that you thought would, that's how you prove who you are. Because if you're going to be somebody that continues despite those difficulties, somebody that continues despite those down periods, that proves who you are. That proves that you do have the staying power that it takes to succeed. And here's one thing that I will say, BridgeMind is my third startup. My first startup, Influencer Marketplace, was a failure, right? And I want to share this with you guys because I think it's important. Influencer Marketplace was my first startup, and I poured about 9 months of my time into this startup before I closed it down, okay? And when I closed it down, I immediately jumped to the next thing, okay? And even though Influencer Marketplace failed, I used it as a stepping stone to my next startup. And that example there is kind of an example where it's like, okay, even if something fails, even if something doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, it is up to you whether you stay in the arena or not. I could have said, oh, I'm just going to go back to school, go get my degree, and go get a 9-to-5 job and be a wage slave for the rest of my life. I could have said that, right? But I didn't. I said, okay, I learned this. Let's now step to this and take what I learned and apply it to the next thing, right? But there's also unique cases where it may not be a good idea to step to the next thing. Maybe you need to pour even more energy into the product or the business or the startup that you're working on now, right? And I'll use BridgeMind as an example. There's been times in this journey over the past 131 days where things have been incredibly difficult for me. I mean, I'm not even kidding. There's been times during this journey where I've had my head in my hands and I've questioned whether I ever should have started doing this in the first place. And I share that because when you go through that experience, when you question, should I have even done this? And you keep going, despite that, that's how you prove who you are. That's how you prove that you have staying power. And staying power is going to lead you to great things. Because if you lined up 10 people and you said, okay, choose which one out of these 10 people is going to be successful, I would ask, well, which one is going to continue forward when things get incredibly difficult? Which one of these people is going to continue forward and have the staying power that it takes to succeed? That's what I would ask. I would say, okay, when times get difficult, how is this person going to respond? And I think that that's very important that all of you guys ask yourself that same question, because when things are going good, when you're enjoying what you're doing, it's very easy to keep going forward. But when things get hard, when things are difficult, when things are not going the way that you wanted them to, that's how you prove that you're the person that has the staying power to stay in the arena, to keep moving forward, and to not give up. That's how you prove who you are. So, this is something that I think about often. And, with the ups and downs that come with being a founder, with the ups and downs that come with building in public. I think that it's very important that I share this with you guys because it's a very important aspect and concept of my journey is that when things are going up, I appreciate it and I'm very happy. I'm like, this is great. But I also internally am prepping myself to know it's not always going to be like this. It's not always just going to go up, up, up. I'm not always going to be winning, winning, winning. And there have been, like I said, several examples during this journey, several instances where I've gone through tremendous amounts of difficulty. But despite that difficulty and things not playing out how I thought they would play out, I continued forward. And I think that, that right there, that is a defining trait of somebody that is going to be successful. And it's important that you craft that. You're not born with it, right? You have to craft it. You have to know that this concept is a thing. Staying power is a thing. And you have to ask yourself, okay, how am I going to respond when things get difficult, right? It's incredibly important that you ask yourself that question because I ask it to myself every day. And it's even more important now than ever before in this journey that we have staying power because the AI models are getting better and we need to stay in the arena for long enough till the point where there is models that allow us to be just incredibly capable, right? It's like the skill that everybody is learning in the BridgeMind community is a skill that is going to be a skill in the future that is just incredibly valuable, right? And that skill is the skill of being able to be an agent orchestrator or using AI in an intelligent way. Most people, if you ask them, oh, how are you using AI or what is AI? They're going to say Chat GPT and they're going to say, oh, I ask it to make me a recipe for, egg omelets or whatever, right? And it's like, no, that's not what people in the BridgeMind community are doing. We're using this to actually build things. We're using agent workflows. We're using the best tools. We're using the best models. And I think that, hey, when it comes to staying power, it's like, hey, despite the ups and downs, we have to keep moving forward. So whatever happens, even if we're winning, even if we're losing, we keep moving forward. It's incredibly important that everyone in this community knows that and does that because we can't be the people that at the first sign of failure, we just fold and we give up. We can't do that. We can't do that. We have to have staying power. And it's an incredibly important thing because you're just not going to be winning all the time. There's going to be difficulty. There's going to be parts where, hey, you're going to be on this road, right? And you're on the road to wherever you're going, right? You have this goal. And sometimes, like even right now, the sun is going to get in your eyes, right? And you're going to be like, oh, the sun's in my eyes. And I can't really see very well, right? But if you're the type of person that's going to continue on that road and continue forward, you are going to be successful. And it's incredibly important that you guys understand that. And it's more important now than ever that we continue forward because the models are getting better, we're making progress, and we just can't stop. We have to keep moving forward. So I just wanted to share that this morning. I'm going to be streaming for day 132 of Vibe Coding an App until I make $1 million. We just surpassed $40,000 in revenue. Let's keep going, guys. I will see you guys in the future.